family mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jody Weiler from Great Garment Graphics, and I would definitely like to extend a very warm welcome to all those attending today's webinar titled It's Greek to Me. Just a few housekeeping notes. If during the presentation at any point you have a question, just feel free to key it into the keyboard, and typically we answer questions at the end of the presentation. We do make time for that, but sometimes they are relevant during the presentation, and so, you know, just whenever you think of a question, just please feel free to key it in, and we'll receive it and get to as many, answering as many questions as we can. We will also start off with a few polls just to get a feel of what our audience, you know, what the demographic is of our audience today. And with that being said, we have invited Peggy Elliott from Stalls ID Direct today to join us to offer you tips on how to expand your heat printing business into the Greek and Collegiate market. Peggy is the product and training manager for Stalls and has just celebrated 22 years with the company, so congratulations on that, Peggy. And
thank you.
You're welcome. And she has a plethora of experience in the decorated apparel industry, and is also one of her gifts, or she's really in tune with the growing and changing trends of the market. So with that, I will turn the floor over to Peggy. And Peggy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here to present to you today, and I hope that I can help bring a little bit more awareness to some of the different opportunities there are for you to grow sales in your business for decorating, whether it's embroidery, applique, heat printing, for the Greek and Collegiate market. One of the things I want to start off talking about and just show a few examples of is our traditional methods of decorating for the Greek market. Just to do a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about today: how to add bling to traditional Greek lettering, items that you can stock to customize Greek fashions, also new ways to create unique mixed media designs for the collegiate market. We've got a whole lot of mixed media items to show you. Fast and easy ways to personalize for add-on sales. We don't want you to have to say no to any customer that walks in your door, so whoever that customer may be, that young man from the college down the street, or the young lady that's coming into the store and is looking for something with a little bit of bling to it, we want you to be able to say yes to those customers and decorate and deliver to them as quickly as you can, so that you're capturing all those sales and increasing the profitability of your business. So the first thing what I want to do is just talk about, hold on one second, just having one, there we go. The first thing I want to talk about are the traditional methods of decorating for Greek. Traditionally, we've seen 2-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch letters in the Twill applique business. A lot of you that may be embroiderers have probably been doing this for quite some time. There have been some trends that change the applique, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes. But the first thing I want to do is just have Jody go over, there's 4 different poll questions before we get deeper into the presentation. And it's going to help me speak to those of you who own different types of equipment as well as do different types of decorating. And I just want to see what types of experience you may have had in the past. So Jody, if you could just share those poll questions, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Our first poll question today is, how many of you own a heat press? Do you own a heat press?
Heat printing can provide many ways for instant sales when those customers walk in the door.
Okay, I'm going to close the poll right now, and we'll share the findings. So 94% of our attendees have a heat press today, Peggy.
Excellent. I suspected, but we always like to check. And then we also want to go for the next poll question.
And the next poll question is, do you own a vinyl cutter? So not only do you have a heat press, but do you additionally have a vinyl cutter?
And this is going to help us identify ways that you can decorate on demand right on the spot in your store with customization using your vinyl cutter.
Okay, I'm going to close the poll just right now. And it looks like about 3/4 of our attendees have a vinyl cutter, 73% to be exact.
Wow, that's pretty high. So for those of you that don't have vinyl cutters, have no fear. We'll also share some different ways that you can also print on the spot in-house. Even though you don't have a vinyl cutter, you're still able to deliver product quickly to your customers.
And then I just launched the next poll question. Do you currently decorate for the Greek or the Collegiate Market? And I'm going to close the poll right about now. 56% are currently not decorating for the Greek or the Collegiate Market, but 44% are.
Okay, that's a good split.
And the final poll question is, have you ever attended the annual Spirit Show held in June? Where was the last Spirit Show held this year, Peggy?
That was held in Texas.
In Texas.
It's a smaller show, but it's pretty worthwhile if this is a market that you are heavily involved in or you want to get heavily involved in. There's a lot of dollar opportunity that can come out of the youth that are, going to college and university, and so many different areas of potential growth for your business that I will share with you today.
We just got the results in, and 72% have not yet attended the Spirit Show.
Okay.
So that concludes our poll questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Jody.
Absolutely.
So just a little bit of information on the Spirit Show. That is an annual show. It is held in a different fun location every year. It's held by the University Spirit Association. It's a great group of people, and again, it is a once-a-year show, so yeah, if you don't hit it, you'll miss it until the next year. But it's a great show that is focused on the collegiate and Greek market, and there is a lot of opportunity there, and you'll see that as we go through some of the presentation. But some of the information I'm sharing with you today, it's going to show samples of Greek product, not everything, but a lot of it will be. However, you can also let your mind wander to other work that you may do. For those of you that are not currently decorating for Greek, these are products that you can still add to your business, and you can just use it as to create fashion garments for some of the youth in your area. Very popular designs that we're going to be showing. And those of you that are currently decorating for the Greek, perhaps there's items today that you are not familiar with that you'll be able to expand your business with, and that is my hope for you today. So let's go through the presentation. So traditional methods again, Twill applique, a very popular style for those of you already decorating Greek, is the 4-inch size lettering. And this is something that is a sewn product, so if you don't have capabilities of embroidering, it's a product that comes in a 1 or 2 color. You can order it with a sew disc and have a zigzag stitch applied to it. It doesn't come stitched to you, but you would use that sew disc with your equipment or send it to your embroiderer, and they'll just sew it for you. And the zebra pattern on the right is something that's very popular. It's a product from Boxercraft, and they are another supplier in the decorated apparel industry that offers rolls of patterned fabrics, and it's cotton material. Stahl's ID does cut this product. However, Boxercraft has a wide range of rolls of the fabric as well, and it's something that we actually offer as a service. We buy the rolls of material, and we will cut various designs for you out of this fabric. And they also exhibit at the Spirit Show. So one of the things that we've looked at over the years, again, I've been with the company for 22 years, and I've just seen it grow and grow and grow. So I wanted to start with the traditional lettering and kind of go into some of the different trends that have come up over and through the years. And one of the next ones that we're looking at is a sublimated twill applique. And what this is a twill material, but it's simply sublimated so that you have a nice pattern on your twill, and you can do a sewn stitch around it with your sew disc, And you can still get that nice pattern look without having, or a multicolor look, without having a lot of layers to it. So it's just another option, and it's kind of, again, an expansion on your traditional types of decorating for the Greek market. And again, this is something that if you don't decorate for the Greek market, you can still get it. We've got a variety of layouts and fonts, so if there's other types of work that you do, it's something that you can order. It comes in about 10 different types of patterns or prints. The next thing that's very popular, and many of you I'm sure are familiar with big name stores such as Abercrombie and Gap, and this is a style that has been very popular the last several years with those stores, and it's called Distressed Applique. Basically, it's creating a vintage look out of a lightweight chino twill or a felt fabric, and traditionally, for a neat, professional styled look, twill has been sewn. This type of applique, you want more of that vintage, distressed, old-time look. So you're sewing it, but you're not sewing it right on the edge so that it does have a tendency to fray, and that becomes a natural, unique look for the garment. So you can see this on the model, just to give you a few different versions to look at, but we've got the close-up there. And you can also do a different levels of distressing. And one of the things I recommend if you're not currently offering this to your customers is to get applique sample kits. And that's something that gives you a wide variety of product, but you can get a distressed applique sample kit and actually sew it to a blank t-shirt or a hoodie and put it on display to try to gain more business from your customers. So put up a little marketing display. And you can do this in a single color, or you can do it in multiple colors. So that just increases your opportunity to increase your sales. If you're doing a two-color, obviously you're going to charge double what you would for the one color. So again, this is a product that's sewn. And here's just another example of it. And what this is basically just a single letter on your cap. So again, you can put this on a hoodie, you can put it on apparel, but you can also put it on accessories. We've applied it to bags, we've applied it to caps. So you have a wide range of opportunity to use a product like this and expand your offerings to your customers. The next thing that I wanted to show is distressed flock. Now all of you own pretty much all of you own a heat press. And this is a product that if you do not have an embroiderer to send work out to, or you don't own embroidery equipment yourself, you can use the distressed flock and simply heat apply it with your heat press. It's a really nice soft feel. It's got a raised surface to it, so it gives a nice texture to the garment, and it's really become a popular item. So it's another way that you can go with a distressed look. And if you don't have the capability to sew, you still have the opportunity to provide a distressed product. Let me try to show a little bit of a variety with the models and the female-male versions so that you have some variety to look at. Again, 3D Mega Greek. Mega Greek, again, traditional letter style, but we've seen trends where you can change up the different lettering style, and what we wanted to do was offer more opportunity for you as our customers. So one of the things that we did a few years ago is we came out with a 3D Mega Greek, and what this basically is a laser etched lettering. It is a poly twill. It does come in a perma twill version, so you can just heat apply it on, or you can also get a sew disc with it. So whether you have the sewing capability or not, again, you have your options. And again, you can decorate bags or apparel, but it gives a nice 3D effect to the lettering. So it pops that Mega Greek just a little bit more than that traditional maybe would have. One of the things I wanted to do too is just go back to one of our other initial slides and point out the white and black lettering. This is something that was a little bit different because I think a lot of people tend to use the lettering color for their stitch, and in this case they used hot pink. So just a little spin of a difference on your stitch thread color makes a whole different look to the garment as well. So it turns 2-color lettering into a 3-color look. Just wanted to point that out to you too. And without the heavy feel of a 3-color letter. So expanding on the 3D Mega Greek, traditionally you've got your Mega Greek, we went to 3D Mega Greek, and now there's something called 4-inch Mega Greek ID. And what you see here is a subtle effect of tone-on-tone print. And again, it is laser etched, but it has the characters, the Greek characters, the names etched into the individual letters. So it's just another way to kind of bring some pop or some style and fashion to your Mega Greek lettering styles. Again, this is a product that you can either get with a sew disc, or you can also just heat apply with, if you choose to go with a permanent adhesive product. Next thing we want to get into is a little bit on the Greek bling, and there's a few different things that I wanted to show here. Obviously, rhinestones are extremely popular in the industry, and something that we did just, the Spirit Show was just held a couple weeks ago, and for that show we wanted to bring them some new things to look at, and one of them happened to be the Mega Greek rhinestone templates. Here's where I'd like to get a lot of feedback from you if you have it, but we want to be able to expand our Mega Greek rhinestone templates, and your feedback can help us do that to different designs outside of the Greek business. But in this case, what we're showing here is a white template. On the left here you can see it, and that template gives you the ability to create rhinestone transfer designs. All you have to do is pour your rhinestones into filling the holes of that template, and you're using a mask to mask over that, and then create your, and that actually in essence creates your transfer design, and you're ready to heat apply. So this is a particular item that you can just keep in stock. You can order that for those of you that do the Greek, or if you're going to be getting into the Greek market, you can order this, keep that template, it's reusable, and any customer that comes in the door that happens to be with that particular sorority and wants that design, you can instantly decorate on demand. Probably takes, I would say, no more than 10 minutes to create one of these rhinestone transfer designs. Okay, speaking of bling and how popular it is these days, one of the other items that is very popular, and I actually found a pair of boat shoes that I purchased that had these faux sequins on them. Also known as spangles. It comes on a carrier similar to a heat transfer material. For those of you that are final cutter owners, you're familiar with the heat transfer material. So it comes similar to that. It is a hand-cut product though, and what you're going to do is you can either lay it over an entire design, use it with screen printing, use it with transfers, or you can just hand cut a portion to fit over a shape on a portion of the design. So in this particular photo with the rose, you can see where on just the rose petals is where they put the spangles, to just kind of highlight out the rose on that particular design. And it looks like we have a question, Jody. If you want to just go ahead and ask that question and I can answer it for you.
Absolutely. There were a few questions about the rhinestone templates. They wanted to know if those are 4-inch as well as the standard lettering, and what is the pricing for the templates?
Sure, let me just go back to that. So on the templates, that is a 4-inch letter. There's holes in the middle that are bigger than the outside holes. So you have the option of making a 2-color design. You could make it multicolor if that's the type of stones that you want to use. But you also could just use the inner part of the design to, if you wanted to downsize it from the 4-inch and just fill in the bigger holes in the center. So you have some options that you can work with this template, and it does sell for $45 per template. But again, it is reusable, And you have a choice of getting either a 2-letter Greek organization or a 3-letter. Does that help? Okay. So again, these faux sequins are something that you can put over a current design, or you can even just decorate areas of a shirt just to highlight and add some bling, just using the faux sequins themselves. Next, I want to talk about one of the other items that is very popular are just using different, they're called extreme essential transfers, and they're just background transfers is what we call them, but it's something that you can either use by itself or you can combine other products with it. So when we're talking about mixing it up, we're talking about mixed media. You can do so many different things. It just brings a little bit more flair to the items that you create in-house. It definitely has a great appeal for today's youth, the collegiate market, even high schoolers. So even if you're not decorating for colleges, you know, local high schoolers, they're going to appeal to this type of product. And you can combine flock, you can combine all different types of products to give that element of texture. Again, bling and texture, it's what it's all about. And you can see on this particular design we did have the enlarged photo on the right side that shows you that we combine this particular one with the rhinestones. And again, these are more of the same thing, transfer backgrounds, so the hope and peace, that gives you an idea of how you can use it by itself, but you're just putting a different position on the garment. Instead of a full front or putting it on the back, just offsetting it a little bit to overlap onto the sleeve creates a really stylish, fashionable, fun look. And we have the guitar version. This one in particular has, it's again a mixed media design because that square is with the guitar, that whole print is a transfer, but the Cleveland with the photographic quality is another transfer applied on top of it. So again, you're mixing up different types of transfers to have different types of appeal and looks for the apparel that you're creating. Heat transfer foil, another way that you can add bling to all the apparel that you're offering. The first one that we're looking at has Rush Week on it. Rush Week, I understand, is very popular. I've been out of school a little while, so but I understand it's still very popular with the Greek organizations, and often they have competitions, and during Greek Week they compete between Greek houses and have different fun and games where there's always a need for t-shirts, and it's a great way to promote their events and the fun of the week. So in this particular design, this shows Rush Week, and it's using heat transfer foil. And you might notice that this has got also a distressed look to it, and the way we do that is simply crumpling up heat transfer foil. And that's something that, again, that you can stock in-house. You can cut it by hand. You can apply it over thermoadhesive. You can apply it over screen printed designs. You can apply it over screen printed transfers. So there's a wide variety of uses for it, and all you have to do is pull it off the shelf, cut it up, place it over your design completely, and it only sticks to where that design is on the shirt. Or you can also choose to cut smaller pieces just to accent your design with a little bit of foil here and there. In this particular one, it was a design cut from thermoadhesive, and then all they did was crinkle up the gold transfer foil and heat applied over it. And when you crinkle up that foil, it will distress that foil and it flakes off in areas. So then when you do apply it, you're going to have little pieces missing to create that distressed look. On the right side, what we have is some scroll designs that we just created on the computer, and we again use thermoadhesive to heat apply, or to cut the designs from, heat applied that to the garment, and then did the overlay of foil again. And it creates a nice tone-on-tone effect. Tone-on-tone is still a very popular look as well, where you're using a similar color to that of the garment to decorate. Jody, I'm just going to ask real quick if there's any other questions before I continue.
We did have a couple questions come in on the t-shirt when you were doing the extreme essentials. We had one attendee wondering if you can add the sequin effect on top of it.
On the essential backgrounds, yes, you can. Yeah. And actually, I'm going to go back one because I know sometimes it's a little bit fast. But the rose design, that is one of the extreme transfer backgrounds. And then that is the sequin over it, just in the area where the rose petals are.
And then another question was the 3D Mega Greek, or any of those with the permanent adhesive. One attendee was wondering, how long does the permanent adhesive last, and are there special washing instructions?
When we say permanent, we mean for the life of the garment. So it does have a permanent adhesive. It's not going to, the bond's not going to break from that garment. And care instructions for, it's still a twill product, so it still is polyester on the surface. So we would recommend that you don't want to use any chlorine bleach, and you probably want to hang dry your outfit or hoodie, whatever it is you're putting it on, or at least at minimum just keep it at warm in the dryer and maybe turn it inside out just to protect the surface of it, but that permanent bond will not break.
Great. And finally, for now, there was some questions about the thermal adhesive used on the foil. Does Stahl sell it? Is it by the roll or the sheet? What is the price? What is thermal adhesive?
Yep. Thermal adhesive is something that we actually use on the back of some of our heat transfer materials. And so we do sell it separately so that you can actually apply it. For those of you that are cutting your own material, you can go to Joann Fabrics and buy uncoated material, meaning it doesn't have an adhesive on it, but then you can take our thermo adhesive, apply it to the back of your fabric to make it have adhesive back for heat application. So let me just flip back in my book and I will give you a quick idea. It's relatively inexpensive. Sorry if you hear my pages turning here. The thermo adhesive does come by the roll. It's 28 inches wide, and for 1 to 4 yards you're looking at $5.50 per yard. So again, we do have more information on that online as well. So, but that is a great product if you are often using fabrics from Joann Fabrics or Michael's Craft Store, any craft store where you purchase uncoated fabrics and you want to put an adhesive on it, that is the product that you're looking for. Okay. So another area that I wanted to cover, because again, not everyone has embroidery equipment or the resource for sewing, and even if you do and you want to give your equipment a break, these are some great opportunities for you for no-sew solutions. So you've got that heat press sitting there and you can decorate with it all day long. If you keep certain letters in stock and you want to decorate on demand, these are just some examples for the little sis on the fuchsia sweatshirt or hot pink sweatshirt. This is the heat transfer material, just like a thermofilm or a fashion film. But this material is something that you can just cut with your vinyl cutter for those of you that own the vinyl cutter. Or if not, if this is something that you have popular Greek organizations, this is something that you could order as a custom product and just keep on your shelf and then in turn decorate on demand as well. On the right side, this Sigma Lambda is a flock material. So again, giving that raised texture to the garment, but it's a simple script lettering. So a very simple look, but still very popular. This is something that is a pre-spaced text. So this comes on a carrier, and you can also do this in-house if you do own a vinyl cutter, just choosing your various script fonts. But again, these are all just ideas for you to expand your business opportunity with the Greek market or just the different customers that you currently cater to. The little sister on the bottom is just an idea of a full color digital transfer. So you don't want to do a one color or two color. You want to add a little more pizzazz to it, and you want to have a full color design. This is something that comes into play there, a full color digital transfer. It's really lightweight on the garment, so it's not going to add, the twill is a little bit heavier, and this is just a very lightweight transfer material. However, it is very durable, so you're not going to have any cracking, peeling, or fading, and you'll still have a nice vibrant print for your customer, and it's lightweight for the wear. I have another question that came in, and it talks about licensing for the Greek market. And that is something that I have had experience with affinity marketing consultants in the past. They are a group that does have a list of vendors that they, it's more or less a licensing organization. So that's something that you can look up online and get more information from them. There are many Greek organizations that are licensed, so for you to actually create apparel, it is something that you want to definitely look into. You don't want to get in trouble for creating something, and you want to be able to make sure that you're paying the proper royalties when it comes to anything that's licensed, whether it's a Greek organization, and a lot of people didn't know that Greek organizations were licensed, but just like Nike or Under Armour or Coca-Cola, all of those things are licensed products or brands, and it's something that you want to just make sure to cover yourself before you start decorating, that you contact them and get more information. And in the past, I have met them at the Spirit Show, so they're a great group of people to speak with and get more information there. The next item that I want to show is going beyond the twill, going beyond some of your typical t-shirt items or hoodies, but also decorating caps and nylon fabrics such as jackets, pullovers, even backpacks and other accessory items. You know, today at shows we're showing in our booth where we're decorating on koozies. So again, the opportunities really are unlimited when you're decorating. We decorate koozies with different full color transfers. We decorate it with heat transfer materials in 1 and 2 color. So there's all kinds of opportunities when you're dealing with heat transfer materials. And if you are some of the group that does not own a vinyl cutter, you can still order custom designs from your supplier with heat transfer materials. Just make sure that when you're decorating all the different fabrics that you, if you're not used to decorating on nylon, there's different types of nylon, and you just want to make sure that you're going to pick the right heat transfer material to go on that fabric. And usually any supplier in the industry is going to have a complete application instruction, and it will list recommended fabrics to make sure that you're not going to put something onto a fabric that maybe after washing it falls off. So just make sure you match up your material with your fabrics. These are actually another set of items that they actually stem from traditional applique, but I'm going to call them appliqué alternatives. You can see in the poly twill design we've got nice neon colors, which is traditional in the Greek market. But it's a little bit different. Instead of a script with a tail design, it's a little bit different. It's just a different style, fun font, but instead of a tail, you've got a decorative floral look underneath it. So it's just a little bit of a different spin with all the different designs that you can choose from. So going outside of the traditional script with tail or block style lettering or letters with bars. You're just taking it a step further and differentiating yourself from your competition. In the center there is a Bloomfield, and that is a felt design. But again, it's just a little bit different. In the center there is a drop embroidery with the letter U. So it's just a little bit different design, but it's still an applique product. And then for the Zeta we have a flock again. That raised texture with the flock. Flock has really come back. It's really very popular, and now there are flocks on the market where you can do 2 color. Previously, some flocks you were not able to do a two-color because of the raised surface. It wasn't conducive for a two-color application, but now the flocks that are out on the market, you are able to do a two-color. So it gives you some more variety. This next item that I want to talk about is very popular. This is a product that is a 3M reflective safety design. And basically it comes in a bunch of different designs that you can choose from. And I guess the importance here is that we just want to point out that there's so many different events that you can do for the customers in your area, and especially sporting events for your local high school, for even your collegiate students that are on different teams or go to different tournaments, your runners. They're going to be out there, and they might be out there during dawn or dusk where it's more difficult to see them. Put something up in your store that shows that you care about them and their safety, and show them how they can add some trendy look in a safety design that reflects and will keep them visible from oncoming cars. It's something that we're trying to really promote because it is important. I live near a bike path, and until we came out with reflective here at Stalls, I had no idea how bad it was that I really couldn't see some of those people that are walking along the bike path, and I have to cut down a street and really pay attention to see them. Dawn or dusk are times where it's really difficult to see people coming if they're not wearing reflective, and so many people don't wear it these days. So we're really trying to promote that as a safety item for our customers, to provide for their customers' safety. Some of the other opportunities for your store that I want to mention, again, charities, local fundraisers, there's different campus events. Some of the things that you can offer are, I know that the Greek organizations in particular often deal with a lot of charities because they're philanthropists, and that's what their organization is there to do, is to help others in the community. So just as an example, I pulled this bag that we did for Petwear and Paws with a Cause organization, and this is something that just gives you another idea of another area that you can sell more product to your customers. So if you know of local fundraisers going on, or if you're speaking to a Greek organization, ask them about opportunities. What do they have coming up on the calendar? What's happening in November? I know that a lot of you decorating for the Greek market are gearing up because with the start of June, I know that a lot of orders come in and you're gearing up for the fall school season. So this is just another area to consider to increase your business opportunity. The other example is just, it's a running club. So you can use this for, again, running clubs or different events that come up in the area. It just shows a fun little design that goes right around the zipper. So one of the things that I just wanted to do is recap a little bit on some of the products that we looked at today. And I really hope this was beneficial to bring more awareness to some of the items that you can use in your business. Many of these items are things that you can have in stock on the shelf so that you can just put it under your heat press, keep blank goods in stock in the colors of the schools that you usually work with. Keep lettering on hand. Letters and numbers, it's still your very basic heat printing product, but in 2 seconds you can put somebody's name onto a shirt or personalize a design. Combine it with rhinestones. There's all different types of things that you can do. It's just a matter of creating some samples and showing your customers the potential that you have for them. So we talked about traditional Twill applique. We also talked about the Distressed Applique. Both of those are sewn products. However, don't forget there is the Distressed Flock, which is simply a heat-applied product, and you can just keep that in stock. Also, rhinestones. You can either choose to do rhinestone transfer designs, which are just a product that's ready to apply that you can get from various suppliers, or you can also buy rhinestones individually. For those of you who have cutters, There's accessories in the rhinestones. I'm certain that many of you have already experimented or are working with them, but you can create your own designs with your vinyl cutter using rhinestone accessories and rhinestones or nail heads. There's all different types of stones that you can purchase. Also, the heat transfer foil and this extreme essentials. Big items to add bling to any of your apparel and very popular with the younger market. 3D Mega Greek, that is something that we also covered. So again, something that you can either choose to get a sew disc with it, or you can get the permanent adhesive option, which we talked a little bit about, and just heat apply it on. And those are items that you could just keep in stock as well. So whatever Greek sororities or fraternities that you're working with, you can order those individual letters and then just keep it on your shelf. So if somebody walks in your store, you can just heat print it on or sew it on for them. Again, creating your own rhinestone transfers, heat transfer materials by the roll, and don't forget about thermoadhesive. And lastly, the 3M reflective safety designs. So Jody, that is the end of the show for today. And I'm just checking in to see if we have any other questions.
You know, we did. You've just got really people wide awake here and stirring up some ideas, Peggy. Great job.
Good. Thank you.
The one question was, how do you apply or print a color digital transfer?
How do you apply or print? Usually the full color digital transfers are done through a wide format printer. So it's a CMYK process. We do offer the service here, so if you sent your artwork to us, we could produce that product for you where you're just getting the transfer itself and just having to heat apply it. But if you do have a wide format printer and you're using a solvent or an eco-solvent based printing process, you can definitely create a full color digital transfer. And I'm glad that was brought up because it reminds me to tell everyone as well that you can either use that option for a full color transfer because there's different types of inks and different types of printing processes with different printers on the market. That's more of a high-end, those large format printers are more of a high-end printer. If that's not something you own, if it's not something you want to get into, you can still always use your inkjet printer that you have on your desk and use inkjet transfer papers. If you have a laser printer, you can use laser transfer paper. So there's a wide variety at different price points to fit anybody's budget so that you can still offer a full color printing. Now there is going to be a difference between the durability, obviously. Digital is your more high-end. It is going to be very durable. It's not going to crack, peel, or fade, whereas your inkjet transfer product, they've come a long way and they do last anywhere from 15 to 25 washes, sometimes longer. All depends on how your customer is washing the garment, but even inkjet transfers have come a long way, but they're not exactly the same vibrancy as a full color digital transfer would be. It's just a matter of what the type of paper is that they're printed on. Sorry, I could go on forever.
I know. And last but not least, how about vinyl cutters? Some attendees wanted to know, are they expensive? Are they easy to use?
There is somewhat of a learning curve with a vinyl cutter, but you can get a vinyl cutter starting anywhere around $500. Going up in price to probably one of the most popular models on the market is $1,800. Of course, you can always get specials at shows. If you're at different trade shows, look for them on special. And there is complete software with it. So when it comes to getting up and operational, that's something that can be done rather quickly. It's not something that takes a lot of time. Like I said, there is a bit of a learning curve, but with the software that comes with it and the demos that you can receive at the show or just consultation with your sales rep, you can be up and running in no time.
And that looks
Any other
like,
questions?
yeah, that looks like that's about it. Oh, do you have
Okay,
more different templates for the rhinestones?
Not at this time, but that is where I would love to hear any feedback that that you have. We are looking at getting into different types of rhinestone templates, and we just want to get the most popular designs out there, the ones that you want to sell. So tell us what those are, and we'll go for it.
Okay, well, I guess that concludes the question and answer period. And once again, I just really want to thank everyone for attending today. And thank you so much, Peggy, for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Have a great day.